Hi everyone, welcome to Mr. Kane's Storytime. I'm so glad that you're here today, joining me. Today is Thursday, June the 4th, 2020, and I have another story I want to share with you today about empathy. So I want you to think about what that word means and how it is that you show your empathy towards other people. Let's get started. We're all together again, we're here, we're all together again, we're here, and who knows when we'll be all together again. Well, we'll be back together again tomorrow on Friday, which also reminds me to remind you to get your guided reading videos into me through WhatsApp, as well as any sharesies that you feel like sharing, and I will post them on the dojo on Friday. We're all together again, we're here. And like I mentioned, tomorrow's Friday, yesterday was Wednesday, today is Thursday, Thursday is here, everybody cheer. Today is Thursday, all day long. Alright, let's get started. You, Me, and Empathy by Jayneen Saunders. When I was a baby, I really was small, while everyone else seemed incredibly tall. There's their family. But as I grew older, I started to see that people are people, just like me. How are you the same as your friend, sister, brother? How are you different? So I've got lots of questions that are in this book for you to think about and consider. And remember, send me any reflections or ideas to me on WhatsApp, and I will share on the dojo. Sometimes I'm happy, and sometimes I'm sad. Sometimes I'm worried, and sometimes I'm mad. We all have feelings, you have them too, and sometimes I feel just exactly like you. What makes you happy, sad, worried, or mad? Think about that. When my mother was sick with a tummy bug, I knew that she needed a big snuggly hug. I rubbed her back and patted her hand, and I said, "I'm so sorry, I do understand." That is an act of empathy. For once I was sick with a terrible flu. I sneezed and I sputtered, but what could I do? My mother said softly while patting my hand, "My dearest of dears, I do understand." That's when she gave me a big snuggly hug, and I instantly knew I was humongously loved. My mother was kind and caring to me, exactly the same as how we should be. Who helps you when you're sick? How do they make you feel? When my brother fell over and hurt his knee, he cried and he cried right in front of me. I helped him up, and I said, there, and sat him down on the kitchen chair. For once when I slipped and I cut my knee, my brother was there to care for me. He held my hand and said, there, and sat me down on the kitchen chair. See, we learn it from one another as well. Who shows you kindness? In what ways do they show you kindness? How do you show your kindness to others? One day in the park, a girl was pushed over, knocked to the ground by a dog called Rover. I knew his name because, you see, Rover the dog did the same thing to me. The poor little girl sat still on the ground, not a sob, not a whimper, not one little sound. Then all of a sudden she started to cry. Perhaps I could help. It was worth a try. There, I said as I patted her arm. Rover the dog doesn't mean any harm. He's just being playful, so try not to fuss. He just doesn't notice small people like us. Have you ever helped anyone before who was sad? How did you help them out? What did you do? What did you say? How do you think it made them feel when you were there for them? One day at school, while having fun, I saw a boy alone in the sun. No one came over and said, "Let's play." I could see he was sad. He was not okay. So I left my friends and over I ran, and I asked if he'd like to play in the sand. His smile was huge, enormous and wide. It gave me a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. When I started school, I too sat alone. I had no one to play with. I longed to go home. And then a girl called Abby ran over to me and asked me to play near the old oak tree. We gathered some acorns for finger hats and swung from the branches like acrobats. We played for ages, and from that day, friends forever, we always say. Have you got a good friend? How does your friend make you feel? Share your thinking. Share your memories. Yesterday at the big green slide, I saw a child run away and hide. Come back, said her dad, just give it a try. This slide is not so terribly high. So up she climbed to the very top. Slide down, he said, I'll help you to stop. But there she sat and there she stayed, wanting to move, but too afraid. I knew just how this girl was feeling, worried and scared. Her head was reeling. For when I was little, I sat at the top, terrified that I wouldn't stop. So the thing I'm beginning to notice about empathy is that the reason people are empathetic is because they relate to how other people are feeling based on their own experiences. Can you be empathetic if you don't relate to the experience somebody's happening? I think you probably can. If you have kindness and you ask to help or you check in to see how they're doing, that is you being empathetic. You can do this, is what I said. You're braver than you think. It's all in your head. The more and more brave things you do, the easier it can become for you. I am really brave, the girl shouted down, and whoosh! Before we knew it, she was on the ground. Have you ever felt scared? What happened? Tell me about a time that you had to be brave. There's one more story that I'd like to share about a bully who never ever played fair. He pushed children over, was mean and unkind. He made us feel sad, so deep down inside. But one day at school, I saw a strange thing. The bully was bullied and pushed off a swing. He was sad, he was crying as he walked away, so I followed and I asked him, "Hey, are you okay?" His eyes were watery, his nose was red, he looked at me, these words he said. "I was mean to the children, it just wasn't right. I know how they feel now, I've had a big fright. Kind and caring is how we should be. I know this because a bully bullied me. Have you ever been bullied before? How did it make you feel? What did you do?" Always remember that if you're having experiences where people are bothering you or harassing you, it's important that you speak to an adult that's caring, an adult that you trust, a sibling even that you trust and know that care about you. Don't go through it alone. Don't hide it. Don't feel ashamed. Get help. So, as I'm growing taller each day, I'm learning so much in so many ways. I'm learning that we should try to be kind, helpful, and caring all of the time. Our world is so special, we all need to care about one another and the earth that we share. People together from far and from wide, we're all on this planet. We're all on the same side. What might be some ways we could show others we care about them? Think about that. Think about how you show people caring and compassion and kindness. Also think about things that people have done for you that showed you that they were being kind, caring, and compassionate. So when someone is hurting or worried or sad, remember those feelings I'm sure you've had. Say kindly with care, "I understand, I do, because sometimes I feel just exactly like you." That, my friends, is you, me, and empathy. Thank you for joining me today at Mr. Kane's Storytime. We'll be back tomorrow for Friday. I hope that you have a lovely evening and a delicious dinner, and I wanted to remind you all to always choose kindness. Always. And even in those moments that people aren't being kind, walk away from them because they don't deserve your time. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.